Hi guys, welcome back to Casta's Kitchen. Happy 2013. I haven't been here in a few months, so it seemed like it was time to kind of show some of the things I've been learning. I've been using cookbooks and learning about French technique, ooh, la-di-da, and it's been absolutely fantastic. It's amazing what you can create when you have just a little bit of knowledge behind you. And I'm still being crazy and trying new things. So I found this absolutely fabulous recipe, it looked like, for these ginger squash muffins. And I thought, well, if ginger goes with squash, why not try chocolate? So we're going to make yellow squash chocolate muffins. I figure you get all the vegetables, you get the protein and everything else, and we get to practice our knife skills. Also, it's inexpensive because winter squash is in season right now. And just for further reference, sour leeks and onions, potatoes, folks say that you can't eat healthy on a budget. But the fact is, you just have to have the knowledge, which you can basically get from the internet, about what is in season and what's not. The only way it really gets expensive, folks, is when you buy things like, I don't know, asparagus when it's not February, or, well, asparagus doesn't actually grow in February, but you're with me, hopefully. Okay, let's get started. All right, so today we are going to start with a dun-dun-dun, yellow squash. All right, you pervs, come on now. Let's stay with the whole concept. This is a vegetable, and how we do is we take a knife, and I still use my Pampered Chef stuff, even though I am no longer working for them, because they do some absolutely fantastic products, and they make my life a heck of a lot easier. So I'm still going to talk about those, but I'm also going to talk about other things I like, and that makes me very happy. Okay, so take a knife. Let's make sure we can see. Okay, still haven't gotten that camera person yet. That's okay. Now we're going to chop one end off. Oh, and don't worry, I've already washed my hands, no problem. And I'm going to chop the other end off. Simple as that. Then I'm going to take my little pieces and I'm going to just pop them in the garbage disposal, because I am blessed enough to have one. Okay. And then I'm just going to chop up some squash. So we're chopping, and basically I'm just doing a basic slice. Now, what I just did wrong here, for people who don't know how to use a knife, is my hand is all over the place. I really need to put my fingers away so I don't chop them off. Slicing, slicing, slicing. I have been just so intrigued with all the wonderful things you can do with simple and fresh food. I love it. So for my purposes, I'm only going to make a dozen muffins. So based on the recipe that I snagged off the internet and made my own, I am just going to use half of this. Now, these pieces are awful big, right? So I'm going to use my chopper, one of my favorite PC products. And you literally screw the top on. Let's take a minute. Ooh, yeah, fancy, right? And it's got these scary little blades in there, which you do not want to stick your fingers in. But, not that I've ever done that. Mm-hmm. And you're going to take your squash and just going to shove as much in there as you possibly can. I'm taking this whole half if I can. And the great thing about the chopper, folks, is you don't have to have batteries or anything like that. I don't know about your kitchen, but mine has just so much stuff plugged in. This is just manual. So, now I might have put too much squash in here. Let's find out. Okay, so like this. It's going to be loud for a second. Is it working? Let's find out. Yay! Look at that. Isn't that fancy? Ooh, it's all pureed. Wait, I'm not very good at this. Levitating. Yeah. So okay, so that's all chopped up. Squash has a very mild taste to it, so one of the reasons this works is you can pretty much do anything you want with it. As long as you add sweetness, saltiness, it'll kind of follow your lead, which kind of amazes me when it's not as popular as it could be. So, all right, maybe I'll raise its popularity. All right, there we go. I wonder what that'll sound like on the camera. So we've got our squash all pureed. That's basically all the prep you need. Okay, now we're going to take a 2-quart bowl, and in my case, this is PC2. One of the reasons I like it, again, is just because it makes my life easier, because it actually tells you what the quantities are on the side, so I don't have to use measuring cups anymore, and I really like that. I'm going to take my squash, I'm going to take all the stuff that didn't end up in the chopper, put it in there. Then I'm going to take the rest of my squash, feel good about these, all nice and healthy and stuff. Then I'm going to add my chocolate pudding mix. And this is just your basic standard vegans, vegetarians. You could probably use some vegan version of this, I imagine. And I'm just going to dump the whole thing in because I really like chocolate. And then the next part is, on the fancy recipe, sorry, I hit the dishwasher. On the recipe that I found, what ended up happening was it looked like you needed a lot of flour and stuff. And when I added all the ingredients together, I realized pancake mix. It'll totally work. And it almost always does with anything I want to do. So I don't buy all of that junk anymore. I literally just buy cheap, good old pancake mix. In my case, Fiber One. It's good for you in more ways than one. And I'm going to take basically a cup. And I'm eyeing this because I'm an eyeing chef and or home cook. And I'm going to dump this in. And that looks about right. So we're going to go with that. We'll add more if you want to. Then you're going to add your choice of milk. And you're going to add approximately a half cup of that. And in my case, I have almond milk, coconut milk actually, and add some vanilla flavoring in it, which should make this really nice and sweet. Pour. Good, yay. I'm going to add one more egg to make this a little bit more soluble. Crack the egg, pop it in. Oven is already preheated for 400 degrees, and these babies should cook for 20 minutes. To add a little more sugar to this, we're going to just put some brown sugar in there to give it some consistency and flavor. I believe in brown sugar. I've been eating it out of the bag ever since I can remember. Okay. Brown sugar, and it's supposed to be better for you. I don't really know why, but lots of sugar. Here we go. About a half cup. All right. And then we're going to just mix this up. Now, I'm going to do manual labor here and see how that works out for us. Let's see. It's looking a little bit on the gooey side. So I am going to add some more milk. Add in the milk. Pouring the milk in. Let me stir just for another few seconds. There we go. Now it's at the consistency I'm looking for. It smells really good too. It looks like brownie mix. You never would know that I had just put a whole bunch of veggies in here. You probably could fool your kids too. If you're having trouble, especially some of my friends who have little ones ages about 2 to 6 who just are not interested, you can sneak a lot of vegetables into something that has dark chocolate in it and get away with it and still have some health benefits. And I know you guys, especially toddlers, are grasping at straws right now. And I also know that for teaching cooking classes in California and places like that for kids. They will eat vegetables if you hide them. Okay, I've got a pre-moistened pan or pre-buttered pan all ready to go. Pop that right there. And then we're going to pour our lovely magical solution in. And make sure not to overflow your cups because then you're going to have a problem on your hands. Basically, the pan will just overflow because the pancake mix has yeast in it, and that's going to cause these guys to rise. And then I'm just going to add a little more of that. And then a little bit more coffee. Okay. And then a little bit there. Chocolate. Gosh, so chocolate. In. There we are. It's quiet when there's no music on. Just a bit more. Beauteous. Okay. I love to bake, but it can get so expensive. So I try to find ways to make it less expensive so you can bake on a budget and still have good, relatively healthy products on your hands. Okay. So now basically it's like brownie mix. I'm going to taste it even though it has raw eggs in it. Do not do this at home. That has promise. I approve. Okay, take a look at what I got, guys. Alright. So now we're going to stick these in the oven for about 15 minutes. And then, don't worry, you're not going to be here that long. Pop it in there. And we'll be back at part 2 to see just how these turned out. Okie dokie.